Yeah, welcome to this video. This is a new 15-minute game. It's a dual commentary game, so both players will do commentary. Also, my friend Brandon here will do a video on his channel. We play a game of 15 minutes and a 5-second increment per move, so that we will have the chance to play it out at the end, and it's not super tough time trouble. Also, the ratings are a bit weird looking, as I should be the clear favorite in the game, but I never play this this time here. I always play the 15-minute pool. Okay, but let's decide on a move here. I'll play an irregular looking move, knight c6 here. It's quite interesting, and I hope to maybe irritate him a bit. Normal moves are of course d5 for the queen's gambit or b6. Okay, a3 seems to know this. We now transpose to the two knights tango. We go g6 now, and black will play g6, bishop g7, and e5, going for a sort of King's Indian setup. But it has some funny nuances. We will maybe see some of these later. White has made this move a3, which is not especially useful. Sometimes, of course, it can prepare b4, but in some circumstances a3 is even a slight problem. Okay, bishop g7. I know it looks a bit weird, yeah, this e6 d6, but I will play e5 for King's Indian, but I won't play it instantly, but only with some preparation. We'll see. Castles, and now he probably castles as well. He doesn't need to. He can play other moves, but it would look like pretty normal. And now here's the idea. Rook e8. The idea is to play e5 and then on d5 go knight d4. And this is even working on bishop e3. So bishop e3, e5, d5, knight d4. And black has a comfortable equality. The only slight issue is that it's a bit of a dull position. So bishop e3, e5, d5, knight d4. This is the idea, instead of this knight e7 maneuver in the King's Indian, where this is of course possible. Controlling g4. Probably he didn't like bishop e3, knight g4. Possible. Okay, but now let's go e5. After d5, I will definitely go to d4. Yeah, we transposed from this tango line into a really pure King's Indian setup. It's of course no position that you would get in the pure King's Indian, because, well, a3 and h3 are somewhat strange moves in this opening. And I lost one move, of course, with e6, e5. Yeah, okay, let's get to d4. The thing is, if you look at this knight e7 in comparison, the knight on e7 simply doesn't control any square. I mean, it's just a very bad piece on e7. In the pure King's Indian, where black goes to attack with f5, f4, the knight later goes to g6, but for the moment it's not a great piece on e7. Okay, so what do I do now? It's not like he's threatening on d4, because I have this knight e4. So knight d4, e d4, bishop d4, knight e4, and it's fine for black. The question is, should I just take on e2 or f3 and continue, or should I play c5, which would be interesting if yeah, there wasn't this en passant capture. Okay, we take on c6. Yeah, if I recapture with the b pawn, I mean d4 is still not hanging, but I don't know. Probably I should just go ahead and grab a piece. I know the bishop looks like the bad bishop, but still I'd rather capture this piece than the knight on f3, because after knight f3 bishop f3 I don't I cannot play knight h5 and f5, which which I wanted to play. So this speeds up the kingside ideas. Of course, here the rook is not so great on e8. I would prefer to have it back on f8, considering that I'm going to play f5, but yeah, it's you cannot have it all. Knight e1, this is interesting. I'm not so sure what this knight is doing. Maybe he's going to d3, but okay, and also f5, of course. f5, ef, gf, the knight is hanging, and bishop f5, there's g4. I'm not sure that this really is a problem for black. No, in fact I can go knight f4 on g4. So I could play f5, e takes, bishop takes. Not sure that it's good, but I could do it. But I like queen h4 actually. Why not queen h4? This prepares f5 with the idea e takes f, g takes f. And maybe I'm really menacing knight f4, bishop h3, stuff like that. The knight looks, the queen looks quite interesting here. But knight b5, I should have thought about this. Knight b5 is maybe an idea now. Yeah, this was silly. I should have paid more attention to this. Okay, it's not the end of the world. If he plays knight b5 now, I can drop back to e7 and okay, can take a7, but this is not the most important pawn. Really, wow, this looks like a very weakening move. Okay, let's do some calculation. Knight g3, queen f2 is a bit of a self pin, and I don't really have a move then. Oh, f5, yeah, maybe f5, f5, f4. It's maybe not so bad even. Knight f4 is of course also to be considered. He probably plays queen f2, and yeah, queen back to g5 or something. It should be okay for black, but yeah, there are many interesting moves. Also, just f5. Also, knight f4. I mean, this is really like a big choice. Don't think I can already sacrifice on h4 this h3. This is too early. I need some more pieces. Also, f5 is probably a good move. Simple move. f5, queen f2, and then the queen probably needs to retreat. Yeah, this is one of the cases where you have lots of good-looking moves, and it's difficult to decide actually. What I'd like to do is also somehow get in bishop to h6, exchange those bishops. So he weakened his dark squares enormously with h3 and f3, and if I get to exchange the bishops, this would be really felt. At the moment, it's not such a problem. This bishops needs to get exchanged, and yeah, he still has got this knight b5 thing going. If I would play f5 to f4, just in general terms, this bishop isn't so great. I'd like to exchange it, really. Maybe what about queen e7? Let's just think about this. Queen e7, this would cover c7, so that knight b5 is simply no-go. Doesn't really work. It would threaten knight g3, because there's not the self pin anymore. And also, I may be preparing bishop f6 to g5, or f6 to h4. Maybe this is a good idea. Yeah, also, yeah, I'll play that. I spent so much time now. He also needs to react to knight to g3. Even knight f4, bishop h6 is an idea now. Okay, he simply ignores this. Yeah, okay, I'll take the exchange. I don't care. It's still an exchange. Yeah, the position is still fairly closed, so it's not an immediate disaster to give up the exchange, but it's not like White is having any compensation for it. He will get to play c5 and have some queenside play, but okay, it's the King's Indian. Normally Black gets slaughtered on the queen side anyway, and here it looks like White still needs some time to get something concrete. Yeah, this is I think a good idea to control g5 so that bishop f6 g5 isn't so easily possible. But okay, let's grab the exchange. And yeah, should I play f5? It's yeah, probably yes. Hard to imagine that I can do without this move for long. Yeah, what is his plan? He will play c5 obviously, and maybe knight b5, but this isn't really threatening much. The question is, should I exchange on e4 to open the position and exchange some material, like taking and bishop f5, exchanging one of the knights? After f-take, he will take with the knight, of course, to get the square e4. And then I can exchange some stuff, bishop f5, taking on e4. It's probably a quite decent way to continue. But at the end, he will always have this knight on e4, which will be his, yeah, the corresponding piece for the rook, for the exchange that I'm ahead. The alternative is to play f4 and go ahead g5, h5. With some kingside attack. Yeah, I actually believe this this should be much better. I mean, the other way is simply solid, but especially due to this move being possible, bishop f6, I like this much more. I can play bishop f6 to h4, or he must make some very unnatural move like queen e1, which would clog up the rook, and it's simply very passive to play this way. So in this way I can play bishop h4, get rid of the bad bishop, and then go g5, h5, g4, and try to open up the g and h files for the rook. And it's really some time until here white has got some real threat. Yeah, he decided to prevent this bishop move. The only problem is that now this is all clogged up. He hasn't no way to get some activity going. Yeah, this is the only one. Takes and knight b5, and then just play a6, and he can just retreat. So it's just nothing. And I'm threatening g4 now already. This will get a dangerous attack very, very quickly. Yeah, there's no way to prevent g4. Yeah, let's play it simple. He must just retreat now. He can play knight a7, but this is yeah, sort of a knight with no return. Just go bishop d7 and then g4. Yeah, okay, I could also spend more time preparing, but for example, bishop d7 would have been a good alternative, covering a4. So his only idea is now knight a4 to b6. Yeah, after provoking the b6 weakness to go knight a4.
White resigns.
Yeah, this was early, but it's pretty much over. This attack is decisive. I think one major problem here was if you return for a couple of moves, that here it begins here it begins where it gets already a bit tricky, and I think very problematic is the move f3, which just weakens all kinds of squares, and black now has a big choice of good setups. Yeah, he just asked if he should do another game. Maybe you should do that. This was rather quick one. So I'll go here and issue a rematch. Let's see if he's got the time to do that. Yeah, after this, black's possibilities are great. You can also think about instantly going to g3.
Game started.
So we had a new game right, and again I got black. I thought I would get white, but okay, no big deal. Yeah, well, we've seen this position before, right? 30 seconds for move 1, it's not exactly a good way to spend your time. Okay, so okay, let's start now with f6. Then I've got lots of options open. What else could I play? I basically had the King's Indian last time. Okay, let's try something completely different. I'm going for the old Indian for a change. Yeah, it is called the old Indian. I think because this was played sometimes before the King's Indian really turned into a popular opening, which means it was in the late 40s, right after the Second World War, with players like Bronstein and Karras picking up the King's Indian with g6. And before, there have been some players who played this kind of setup, and this became to be known as the old Indian. Yeah, I think Nimzowitsch, for example, he played this kind of setup. Okay, an immediate d5. This is interesting. So what should black do now? We have an early commitment in the center by white, which also gives me the square c5 for my knight. In fact, knight c5 looks like a rather decent move. Alternatives are surely something like bishop e7 or a5. I'm not so sure if I should play knight c5 so early. It would have the advantage of attacking e4, so that maybe he needs to play f3. I mean, not necessarily, but this is the most okay, didn't do it. The most natural way to defend e4. Okay, so here probably b4 is a threat. If not now, then in the very near future. So I'll spend the move to secure the knight on c5. Oh, this is very early. Playing a move like this. I was not threatening a4, so it's different if white would have played a3 before, then I would have threatened a4, but b3 is really early. It's not a necessary move at the moment. So the question is now, should I play bishop e7? Or should I go with g6? g6, of course, always would have the advantage of preparing also f5 later. But bishop e7 has got the point that maybe I can move the knight on f6 and play bishop g5 to exchange this somewhat bad bishop. And this is something which is very nice to achieve. Okay, he played knight to f3. Is there some way to get rid of the bishop? Interesting. Maybe I could try that. It's interesting. The idea is I assume he's playing this move, and then I would take and play knight d7 and bishop to g5. Let's do that. It's interesting to get rid of this bad bishop. This is probably not the absolute best way to play, but it's interesting. I wonder why he's not recapturing instantly. G takes f3 after knight h5 is just a disaster. It's pretty much a very clear advantage for black instantly. G takes f, knight h5 is terrible. Bishop f3 is just a mandatory move. Or maybe there's some connection problem, I don't know. Interesting. You really took some time on this move. So knight to d7 and bishop g5, right? This was the idea, at least. Is there some other place where I could go? Yeah, after castle it's knight e8, but if I castle he might play g3, knight e8, h4. At least this is what I would consider. This only is working, this bishop g5 stuff, because right now he has absolutely no way to prevent it. Otherwise this taking on f3 would be entirely pointless. I really need to get this played. Yeah, and after this I have a position with two knights against knight and bishop, and this bishop on f3 is of course not the greatest piece, but it's not a big deal. It's not like this bishop is a big cause for concern, and this is simply because white still enjoys a very considerable space advantage. It's this position after the bishop exchange gives black fair chances, but he's not better. White with his space advantage has always ideas to go a3, b4, c5, this kind of stuff, and open up more space even for his bishop. Very often this bishop also can go to g4 and simply exchange itself, like on d7. Maybe bishop g4, okay, it's probably not good to allow the double pawns on e3, but in general, to reroute this bishop to the h3 to c8 diagonal is a good idea for white. For example, something like taking on g5, queen g5, and then in the long run g3, h4, and getting the bishop to h3. So queen move. Yeah, not much choice. I need to take this. And yeah, what now? The knight on d7 is of course not very well placed. Question is, should I reroute it instantly? f6. Knight f6 would have the advantage of preventing bishop g4. What else is there? Maybe I can consider h5. h5. Gaining some space and also preventing bishop g4. Also there the queen moves, queen f6 for example, but I need to be cautious about knight b5. This might attack c7, and then I don't really know what my response is. Yeah, I also could try to play something like queen f6 to f4, also an idea. Yeah, if I put the knight on f6 now, those ideas are pretty much out of the game, activating the queen quickly. What else could I do? I could also just castle, of course. Another idea is to play c6, queen b6, something like this. But I should really castle first for this. Okay, let's castle. I mean, it's a difficult thing. Okay, I was slightly worried that white might go queenside and then play g3, h4, and f4 or something like this. but it doesn't look like that this was on his agenda at all. Yeah, the normal move is knight f6. Yeah, okay, come on, let's play this. I cannot spend all day on this. So what would be a good way to continue? What I would like to do, but this is really some sort of ideal scenario, is to play c6, exchange on d5. If white recaptures with the c-pawn, I would like to play b5, b4. This would be like the dream, yeah? Exchanging c-pawns and b5, b4, so that the knight on c3 would need to move, and then he's really tied to defending the e4 pawn and have a4. I have two great knights on f6 and c5 that both attack e4, and c6 taking and b5 would also prevent all kinds of play from white. Okay, yeah, he's aiming for a3 and b4 himself. So maybe I should go for this. I mean, c6 is a good move anyway. He cannot really take because this removes the d5 pawn from controlling e6, so that I have instantly knight e6 to d4. He cannot take. Yeah, this was to be expected. The question is, if I take on d5 now, maybe he's taking with the e-pawn, and this could be a slight problem. One thing is I can play a4, of course. a4, b4, knight b3, and to d4. Okay, come on, let's take first and think about this afterwards. Yeah, a4 now, or is this really nonsense? The thing is, if he goes b4, let's say I do a nothing move, yeah, and he goes b4, a takes b4, a takes b4, rook a1, knight b3 with a tempo, and knight to d4, and I'm great in this position. So it's not really a big threat, this b4 move. The question is, what should I play now, if this isn't a threat? Queen to yeah, queen somewhere probably. Queen d7. I mean, the knights are okay. Queen d7 would cover b5. I could also play queen b6. It's not entirely terrible. I'd like to connect rooks. This is why I'm thinking about a queen move. Queen b6 also would prevent b4, of course. And it would control b5. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I need to move. Cannot invest even more time. Yeah, it looks fairly solid. I mean, I'm always I can always count on the somewhat weak bishop on f3. It's not doing much, but one way to activate it is bishop e2 to b5, something like this. and this shows that this bishop isn't terribly bad. Okay, but first of all, he cannot go b4. We already saw that. b4, I take on b4, ab, rook a1, queen b4. I'm even winning a pawn. He can go b4 takes, rook b4, but then I can take on b4, ab, rook a1, and probably black is clearly better with two rooks for the queen. So b4 is really no move. I think white should consider something like bishop e2, or maybe if you want to play a very direct way, can move the knight and try to play b4. But b4 isn't so terrible anyway. I mean, b4 takes, knight d7. Besides the fact that I can win this pawn as mentioned, but I can always just drop back to d7 and cover the queen. The only weakness that I have is d6, and this is not a huge issue, I hope. Okay, this is interesting. This is an interesting move. Good move, maybe. It protects b3. It wasn't hanging, but it protects it, and protects a4 also. So he's sort of maybe preparing b4 in the long run. This could be a good idea. Yeah, but how do I improve here? Maybe rook c8. He's still not threatening b4, and rook c8 looks good. Operating on the c file. And yeah, I think he will probably play a slow move like bishop c2 or g3, something like this, h3, some slow move. Then I can think of king f8. King f8 is the move that I like, because in this scenario where the queens are exchanged, like after knight d7, queen b6, knight b6, and he goes knight b5, then I could just play king e7 and protect this weakness. So king f8 is a move that I could consider if he goes for some slow move. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, bishop c2 has the problem knight d7, and these pieces are really bad on the c file. This is a problem for white here. He's got no foothold on the c file. Maybe you should consider. Yeah, this is actually a good idea. Maybe you should play something like rook c1. Rook c1 and then rook a to b1, and then preparing b4. Not sure that it's such a great thing anyway to get b4 in, but rook to c1 looks decent anyway. Okay. Yeah, I'm not so sure what this is doing. Is he threatening b4? Yeah, well, takes and queen and rook takes. I don't think this can be a big problem, really. And a takes, knight d7. Yeah, okay, I'll play this weird preparation move for knight d7. Tja, b4 is the move that he is preparing all the time, I think. But it's still not terribly threatening. Oh, this is surprising. I thought he would be a bit weak on the c-file now. If I play knight to d7. Of course, rook a2 was a good covering move. Okay, but I'll do this here. Cannot stay in this situation all day. And I don't mind the queen exchange. I've got the rook on the c-file, and he's got no foothold on this file. If he plays queen d3, I have this ideas of, or queen d2. I have this queen d4 idea. But maybe this isn't great. Yeah, he can maybe take and play knight b5. Now that I think of it. But queen d2, I could consider queen c5. This looks somewhat weird for white. Like he needs to move the knight to some really rotten place, d1 or a4. He moved the queen. Interesting. Okay, queen d4, probably knight b5, yeah. Okay, and queen c5, probably knight. Yeah, knight to somewhere strange. e2, maybe e2, yeah. Yeah, but maybe I should just, yeah, maybe why not just double on the c-file? It's the only open file. You should put your rooks on it. It's an ancient rule, but in some cases the rules still apply. Yeah, rook c8 now threatening. Probably he needs to move the knight now in anticipation of this move, like knight, I don't know, knight d1 maybe, knight d1 to e3, something like this. Could be an idea. Okay, one of those strange squares. Yeah, where do we go now? Yeah, well, I have b5, I have a6, I have a7. No? d4 looks weird. Yeah, probably here. With the simple idea of pushing b5. Yeah, and just rook c8 coming. Maybe you should consider bishop d3, covering the b5 square. Yeah, it's a slightly uncomfortable position for white. The pieces don't really coordinate well. Amazing that white has time for this kind of move. Okay, but let's play rook c8 first. This cannot be bad, taking this file. One idea is also sometimes to just go knight c5, exchange the a4 knight. I know it looks like a very silly piece, but in general, exchanging a pair of knights to have the pure good knight against somewhat questionable bishop scenario isn't so bad. Question is this really the best solution? I doubt that. It looks very uncoordinated for white, this position. But still, knight c5 is not a bad move. Can also go rook c1, but it doesn't really bring so much benefit at the moment. I'll try to exchange that. Yeah, and now a possible next move would be rook c3. Rook c3 pinning on the third rank, and then queen d4. It's like invasion on the dark squares. Oh, okay. Let's play this simple but good move. Queen d4 is yeah, the queen obviously would be very nice on d4. Yeah, should I do this instantly, or there are other ideas? Let's try this. Knight h5. Getting this idea into the position could be quite annoying for white. There's also this queen on a7, which can be really tricky. Let's say he plays g3, and then I could simply take on g3 because of this pin on the a7 g1 diagonal. So this queen on a7 is quite a dangerous piece for white. And he's also running low on time. If you would play b4, by the way, I can consider more than one reply, probably just taking even. a3 is also hanging. It tries to relieve some pressure with exchanging. It's a valid idea, of course, but let's try this. Knight f4, knight g3, these kind of stuff. It's very annoying with little time on the clock. Simply because you cannot play g3, just take it. I just take it, as mentioned. Yeah, the queen is very well on a7. It's a very good post. I hope I'm not overlooking some stupid double attack or something, but I don't think so. Alright, so now let's check what's best here. Maybe there is some direct way to win. Queen d4 looks quite good. Queen d4. Or maybe he's got queen h6, something like this. Yeah, probably all kinds of moves win. Okay, let's go to d4. This cannot be bad, really. Threatening on d3. I mean, rook takes c2. Yeah, rook takes c2. Bishop takes queen d2 threatened, and yeah, all kinds of stuff. Knight e4. He can give this check, but I just go to g8, and it didn't do white any good. Yeah, I can play knight e4 even, right? Maybe he's got this check then. Knight e4, bishop e4, it's queen d2 is over. Yeah, okay, let's check rook c2, rook c2, rook c2, rook c2, queen c2. Yeah, and knight h5 to f4. It's pretty much curtains. So not position that you would like as white. Okay, come on, keep it simple. There's only 1 point to earn in a game of chess. If you see a winning continuation, you should simply play it often and not think about any great beauty prize winner or something. Sometimes you spend so much time on trying to figure out a nice way to win that you actually spoil the win. Okay, this is just the all-star knight on f4. Cannot get any better. Yeah, h3 also hangs. Okay, so how to win this now? He's probably threatening. Okay, he can give this check and get to this pawn. Maybe go here and queen c5.
Check.
I always have g7 now, and queen on c5 is just simple, covers all pawns and attacks a3. And if he exchanges, this endgame is a pretty easy win. All right. Okay, if I take c6 now, I'm not sure if I should really. Okay, but this looks simple. I take here. And now I'm covering this nicely, d6 and a5. Queen to b4. Yeah, could be. But at the moment the queen is covering everything nicely. If I would play queen b4 and he exchanges, slightly worried. Okay, but he never gets to the b pawn. I was slightly worried that maybe he'd get his king to c4 or something and attack this pawn, but he will never be able to. There's simply no way. d3 is covered by the knight and c3, a3 also. Oh.
White forfeits on time.
I didn't manage a move here. Okay, but the position is really very bad. I would have liked to show the technical part, but okay, overstepped the time. The easiest for black is to try to organize in the long run some attack on the king with the queen and knight combination, but I just wanted to tidy up on the queen side before I do anything on the king side. So this is okay. The exchange is also a winning endgame for black. Alright, yeah, I hope you enjoyed those two games. It was a pretty long session here of almost 1 hour. It didn't really we didn't really plan for this longer video. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you also check out Brandon's version of the game. I'll post a link in the description to make it easier to find the corresponding video. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.